I speak to you now as a messenger, a muse, and the Logos. Genesis 1 Prometheus gave humanity the silver fruit of Eden, procured from the garden of creation and cultivated by the gracious hand of Eden. We took the fruit and unleashed the plague of hyper-extraction, production and consumption to rape and destroy our Eden. Once again, we are called to pay witness to a new transition in the development of humility. We welcome you to the Ark, the mega machine, as described by the prophet Lewis Mumford. The Order proclaims that we must unite animistic belief into the psychological framework of our cognitive relational proximity to the world we inhabit. The song of our religious faith emphasizes interconnectivity and entanglement to our living systems through land stewardship. Open your eyes into a new beginning procured by the tenacious efforts of the Order. Eden, as we know, is no longer our home. Eden is the gift of temporary salvation and awakened consciousness. Scripture informs us that we must now lull and earn the privilege to enjoy the fruit of Eden through a process of force conditioning. In such a system, land procurement is not subjected to a cycle of competitive acquisition. Instead, it employs a system of cyclical rotation to regulate shared resources and responsibility in maintaining a balance of consumption. Genesis 2. I shall paint a disturbing portrait on the dire state of the world that our adaptation emerges from. It was a time of endemic lawlessness against the natural order of survival and preservation. In nearly all the circles of the earth, belief in our ability to traverse this threat had failed. Fear and respect for Eden no longer prevails among man. Environmental negligence and violence held sway and overshadowed all things. All virtue had departed and ceased to exist as useless evil reigned in its stead. The proclamation of the Order set into motion a series of events to save the procurement of Eden. Apostolic exhortation was commissioned and disseminated by the Order. We condemned competition between humans and nature, and the exploitation of natural resources for the betterment of human consumption. A good Thulucene demands that humans use their growing social, economic, and technological powers to protect Eden. The ecological sensibility idealized a state of natural coexistence and mutual interaction. Laudate Deum Deus le Welt. Thus, the proclamation of the Order. To be human is to shape the world, to create the infrastructure of our common lives. What do we do when that infrastructure becomes a trap? Asked the prophet Jedediah Britton Purdy. We answered the call of the Order and mobilized to reclaim what we have lost. Genesis 3 human technologies have made us less reliant upon the many ecosystems that have been left deeply damaged. The Order forced decoupling with the construction of the Ark to form cities nested in the stars. Urbanization, aquaculture, agricultural intensification, nuclear power, and desalination demonstrated the potential to reduce human demands on the environment, allowing more room for non-human species to prosper in our absence. Transitioning to a world powered by zero-carbon energy sources encourages the Order to move production in an alternate dimensional plane of existence for safety. These efforts have preserved wilderness, biodiversity, and the mosaic of beautiful landscapes to render the paradise of Eden. The Order stands firm in its belief that technological progress is our salvation. Nuclear power has decoupled society from nature. More efficient agricultural techniques and dense urbanization on the Ark saved humanity from extinction. Genesis 4 through the pilgrimage. Designed by the Order, we have earned a momentary period in the Garden of Eden. The Order modifies all humans by means of bioengineering to create a dormant form of existence prior to our descent into Eden. Although dormant, the Order retains control of the brain and body systems for conditioning. Condition by means of entangled dependency. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Eden is situated at a critical juncture of a new axial age, where the pendulum of cognitive evolution is shifting the manner of how we live in the world. Eden recognized the ambivalence of its conception in the imagination that conceived a perfect rendition of its meaning. Eden is intrinsically flawed because it reinforces one version of socio-technical imaginaries. Genesis 5. In bid you're welcome to earth, to paradise, to our home and all the affordances that come with understanding the value and the sanctity to the land we inhabit.